action was not taken soon enough. 2 years later, just before dawn on February 1st, 1996, a freight train neared the summit of the Cajon Pass. The engineer brought the train to a halt and waited for the signal to proceed with his descent. As the train came down the mountain, it started to gain speed. The recommended speed going down the grade is 15 to 20 miles an hour. The engineer applied the train's air brakes, but it did not slow as it hit 40 miles an hour. He continued to apply pressure to the brakes. Nothing slowed the train. It reached nearly 65 miles per hour when it hit a sharp curve. The train hurtled from the rails and exploded into a fireball.
Here was about a 3.5-4-story high pile of what had been rail cars. And it was like somebody dug a hole and just kept shoving them in. And they were sitting there all helter-skelter in this pile. And the fire was just phenomenal. I've seen very few fires that looked as incredible as this one.
If you can imagine a mass of burning, tangled wreckage on a football field that's about 4 stories high, you can imagine what we saw.
Computer animation shows the 4 locomotives and 49 cars jumping the tracks and the resulting fire. Toxic chemicals spewed from the burning wreck. Fearing that a toxic cloud would spread, the main artery between Los Angeles and Las Vegas, Interstate 15, was shut down for more than 30 hours, and nearby homes were evacuated.
We obviously didn't want anybody driving through that cloud in case there was some very toxic or poisonous properties in the smoke.
The 3 crewmen were killed when they jumped from the runaway train. One of the victims was the brakeman, Kevin Williams, who died upon impact. The other victim, Gilbert Ortiz, was consumed by the blazing inferno that resulted from the wreck. A memorial to the crewmen now overlooks the accident site. The engineer, Lester Foster, stayed on board the train and lived. An investigation by the National Transportation Safety Board determined that the probable cause of the accident was a blocked brake hose. A train's brakes are applied using air that is pumped the length of the train. If one of the air hoses is blocked, the air pressure can't get through, and all the cars behind the obstruction are left without brakes. As a result of the derailment that occurred in 1996, all trains are now equipped with an end-of-train, or EOT, device. The EOT is a brake valve that allows the engineer to apply the brakes from the rear of the train by radio command.
Today, we have requirements that require that these trains have two-way into-train devices, and that these two-way into-train devices be operational. So today, the Cajon accident could not happen. And since that accident, the Santa Fe has just been wonderful in the different initiatives that they've put together to make sure that trains coming down this hill are brought down safely.